Hey guys, welcome back to the Port City Podcast. Today we've got a special Christmas episode planned for you. It's going to look a little bit different than our typical show, but we're going to be discussing the events of 2024 with Operation Sovereign Shield and what to look forward to on the horizon for Port City Airsoft in 2025. Hope you guys enjoy.
Happy Christmas, Harry.
Happy Christmas, Ron. It is Christmas,
it's
actually.
If you couldn't tell.
It's Christmas right now for you.
Like this second.
This very moment.
Anytime.
Just now.
I think it's...
You are waking up in your bedroom. And you're walking out.
I'm there.
With your family to experience Christmas. There's lights, there's fake snow, the smell of breakfast, whatever that is for you. If it's bacon, if it's eggs, if it is a toaster strudel, it doesn't matter. You're fully in the season, in the spirit, and you walk out to greet your family a happy Christmas, and your father is standing there. Port City Podcast cast on the Chromecast to the living room TV.
It's actually the thing that brought your dad home. He actually has the milk and the cigarettes.
And he looks you in the eyes and he says, "Why can't you be more like them?" Having fun playing airsoft. And that's what we're here to talk about today, guys.
Airsoft.
The true spirit of the season.
The true meaning of Christmas.
Airsoft with the boys
Is getting airsoft gifts and then going
to
as soon as
your
possible
local field
to play with them.
to play airsoft.
Yeah.
And we will be.
Yeah.
If you're in the Discord, if you're in the Facebooks, we got a New Year's game coming up and we expect to see you there.
Oh yeah.
Okay? We want to see all the new toys,
everybody.
all the gear, all the cool stuff you got. And if you didn't get something cool, dude,
then don't come.
I know you got some Christmas money.
No, do come. Yes.
All right.
Buy something.
Go get something cool, man.
Yeah.
Get a golden. We can't even say the G word, but you know it.
A golden.
You know and love it. $5.
Blaster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it.
But seriously, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all. Oh.
We didn't do a sound check.
No,
and I
didn't.
realize that, but it is actually perfect.
But it is actually pretty good.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Everybody. It's been busy. It's been a busy.
It's so crazy, dude. And we are, and
Jeez.
you saw in the intro, this is a different episode. We are actually going to probably spend a little bit more time just kind of talking. We try to keep the YouTube versions pretty short and concise and the information we want to communicate in a 15 to 20 minute window.
This is going to be a longer one.
This is a long one. And if you're new to the channel, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you for tuning in. This episode is geared more towards our consistent listeners. This is for, this is for you guys. So we got some updates. We're going to talk about 2024, all the things that went well. Bless you. Bless you again.
Thank you.
All the things that went wrong, and what to look forward to next year.
Yeah.
So why don't you start us off with the elephant in the room?
So we have not talked about this yet because we haven't released a video.
We haven't done a podcast episode since
Operation Sovereign Shield 2 Infernal Fury. How did it go? Pretty good. I think it. So how do you define success?
No, I mean genuinely.
How do you define success?
I have a lot of thoughts about this.
Yes, there's a lot to say about this. So you could look at success in terms of attendance number, and in that regard, not as successful, right? That's fine. You could also look at success now, in terms of
actual ticket sales were close.
Yes.
Same by a small margin.
As far as attendance on the day of, not so much.
Some of you guys bought tickets and didn't show up.
And that's, I'm like,
Now,
obviously we would have loved to have had you there, but I mean, you bought the ticket.
Yeah, I know there's some guys who just will buy a ticket if they might go to support. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. We do want you there.
We do want you there.
Show up, dude.
Yeah.
You already bought the ticket.
Yeah.
You did the hard part.
You did. The easy part is playing airsoft. That's the fun part too.
And I was going to say the second to that, attendance, financial gain, some people will say success. And we don't talk about money a lot on here. And this is a business, right? And we've talked about this a lot. We have an LLC. We are a actual business. Our goal to do more of these events, to do more, to host more airsoft experiences in the Savannah area. Financial gain is cool, right? We'd love to do this full time. That's not so much the priority when it comes to planning these events. Yeah,
we are when we plan these, our goal, this is we have to achieve this
for it to be successful. We have to achieve.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is mostly based around, at the very minimum, breaking even.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got a little bit of residue burps.
I don't know what it is. We just drank water. That's it.
Yeah. Breaking even is best case scenario for us. So if there is any extra past that, that is awesome. That's amazing.
And that means the next one gets to be
better because we are not paying ourselves out of that. All of that goes into the next event. So a lot of stuff. If you were there, you saw like the storage crates, and there's some extra raffle items and some stuff like that. A lot of that stuff was possible because the first event was financially more successful, and we were able to take a lot of that and put it towards this event, which gave us a lot of the additional prop items, the flags,
and part of that too was on the first one, we put more money down on gear and equipment and supplies that could be used again and again. And it is that idea of putting that investment in first so that we have something worth sharing with you guys and hopefully writing that out further.
We were also able to hire additional admin for the event and additional, we had a photographer and a videographer on site that was just there getting stuff that we were able to pay because the first event was successful.
And even with that, there is still a ton of people who are volunteering their time. So it is not just us, your COs, your squad leads, some of the admin staff were volunteering. It was, hey, we want to come out and help. And so thank you to you guys as well. And for those watching, if you see them in the Discord, tell them thank you.
Yeah.
Shout them out. Appreciate them.
Yeah. So what would you say were some of your highlights, Isaac?
I would say, we've spent a lot of time talking about this. We've yet to do a full debrief with the actual squad leads, which is the next step in the planning of our next event, right? It is what can we do next time to improve? But we've talked with a lot of those people kind of off record, unofficially, not recorded their answers, but just hey man, tell me how you feel about this. For me, the highlight is people had fun. Yeah. People left that event and said, I got to tell so-and-so. Yeah. I got to invite this guy. We got to get more people. We were looking forward to the next one. We have in our Discord an events page where anyone can go in and promote other airsoft events. We use it to promote ours. It is just a resource to our community of, hey, here's what's going on. Show up to these things. We posted one in there, one that we're going to, that we're not hosting, that we're going to be attending. And some people were like, oh, I got excited. I thought it was Sovereign Shield 3 being announced.
Oh, dang.
So I think the community, the excitement that people are feeling and the acceptance of these events is awesome. Because, really, at the end of the day, if you guys don't like it. Why would we do it?
Exactly.
So for me, highlights. People really loved it. We had a solid crowd. There was a lot of team like morale and hype, like Sundar showing up in the red flannels.
Oh yeah.
One guy bought some multicam and dyed it red, so he had like red and black multicam.
That was so cool.
People showing up in blue, waving banners. We had
a dude in a cape.
And I mean, if you're in the Discord, you'll see all that stuff. You should get in there and check it out.
We also posted the photo gallery on our Facebook, so go check that out as well. You'll see. Yeah. You might see yourself.
You probably will. There's a lot of photos.
More than likely will. There's a ton of group photos too.
I think additionally, really positive feedback about the game modes. People loved the first event. People raved about this is even better. The game modes are better. There's still room for improvement. There always will be. It's our second one ever.
I think the one example of that is the night game. For people who stuck around for the night game, I think that was something that we had planned for it to be something different than it was, but ended up just a lot of people got tired by the end of the day and were just ready to go home. So it's understandable. So we had a lot of people leave. It ended up being like, it was
less than 20.
Yeah.
It was bad.
So we ran something a little bit different and it just kind of derailed and it wasn't necessarily what we wanted it to be. But
I will say I've had people tell me since then, we're really down on like, it wasn't what we wanted for the night portion. The day portion was awesome. It was great.
The day portion it went
well. It went really well.
Yeah.
For the night portion, it was kind of for us a disappointment of like we didn't get to do what we wanted. We didn't bring what we wanted to bring to you guys. I have had people tell me since then, dude, we had fun. It was still good, you guys. I think you guys think it was worse than it was.
Yeah.
But it was not as organized and fleshed out as we had on paper planned because it was not conducive to the crowd.
Now, that does give us, notes, right? It gives us an idea of what we need to do differently for the future if we are running more night games going forward. So it was a very good experience for us to run that anyway. We had debated, maybe not running it just because of how few people were left, but the people that were there were excited about it, and so we decided we were going to run it just to give people, just to give the people what they wanted.
Airsoft
in the dark. Yeah, and I don't think any of the people that were there had played hoppers at night. So
not that I know of.
Yeah, even that was just a cool experience for them.
So all of that.
Jinx, you owe me a soda, dude. Knock on wood.
Oh, great. All of that is.
Dude,
we got to go back.
Yeah,
right? We got to go back. For me,
I always go back to.
It is a moment of where are we?
Right,
we're further along than we expected.
Because I remember what I don't even remember what year it was. I remember it was Rev 9.
Yeah,
that was what, like 2016.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it was.
I was driving.
It was
so
20,
I was old enough to drive.
It was 2018. It was 2018 or 2019 because I was.
No, it had to be before that because COVID was 2019. It was further back.
It was 2018 because I was living with Callie.
Okay.
Because I remember that's where I had gotten that really terrible Falcor defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing was awful. It looked cool, and I've got the muzzle device. The muzzle device that I have on my Valken M4 right now is that because it's not orange, it's blue.
Yeah, and
it just looked a little bit cooler, and it was the only thing that fit inside the rail on that M4.
Yeah.
So, but I remember going to Rev 9 for the first time, and you'd already been, so it was your second
Rev, yeah.
And just like that was the first major airsoft event that I had ever been to. Oh, we don't have a major airsoft. Who's Major Airsoft?
Wyatt?
Yeah.
Or maybe...
Or is he Admiral Tarnagle?
He is.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out.
And then James is Captain Sundar.
Yeah.
So I just remember going and that being the first large scale airsoft event I'd ever been to, and just the level of
And
like,
it rips.
huh?
It rips.
It rips, dude. The level of detail they put into everything, the storytelling, the world building, and all of that. That is, I remember coming back from that trip, and it was after going to Rev 9 that you and I posted our first video on Port City Airsoft, which was
like honestly a failed attempt at like a highlight video.
Yeah.
It was a minute maybe of footage, and then me being like, hey guys, we didn't get as much footage as we wanted, but here's the video, I guess.
So we just did not know what we were doing at that point.
No clue.
After that, we had a couple of other ones. We had like an unboxing and actually we had a video that was a leak fix for the SSP-1 mags, which apparently
Gen
was
1 mags too, right when they dropped it.
It was apparently like a hot commodity at the time. It actually did.
It only got like a few thousand, but for a channel that was like a month old.
It was our highest performing video for a long time until the bad guy kits.
Yeah.
So I just remember that, dude, and like to see where we are now, like going back and looking at that video of us sitting at your table with your family screaming in the living room.
Yeah. ASMR, we unbox a airsoft blaster while my brother yells.
Yeah, and screams at Fortnite.
Yeah.
And now we're
here, right, with you.
Yeah. You got, and then
some of that,
and then
one of those,
and then a
little bit of those.
We
got this. We probably can't show that. YouTube.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Oh well.
It's not real. It's airsoft.
Yeah, fake toy. Oh. We got that.
Ghosts. Knocking stuff over.
No, but it really is. It's like we still have less than 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Right. We still average in the hundreds on our views, with the occasional one that clears a few thousand.
Yeah.
It's less about success and more about, we had a dream that we could help bring that same level of excitement about airsoft. The attitude, the atmosphere at Rev 9 was just
electric.
Nobody getting...
There were no fights. I saw no freakouts. I saw no one saying, that guy didn't.
Yeah. And there was one high aggressive energy altercation thing in the context of the role playing, right?
Yeah.
Where we got into a fight with another team over like some stuff at this one location. And it was like,
and it was just
a lot of like, you guys can have it over my dead body. You know,
I mean, it was a solid 2 hours of a firefight.
It was
a long,
yeah,
like a fighting the same group, and they were attacking us because we had a flag.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was so much fun.
Everyone was positive.
Yeah,
everyone was encouraging. It was just, there was no bull crap, no call your hit. No. It was, everyone was happy to be there, and everyone was happy that you were there.
Yeah.
And we were just like, man, we got to bring that energy to our local community.
The more the merrier, man. And the more people you can get playing airsoft in one spot, the better, the more airsoft you're going to have, and more airsoft is always good. So,
and we've talked about it on the channel before, like Chris Swamp Sniper was a big like
inspiration,
like talking to him and interacting with him at the event, like him taking time to be like, hey man, like, yeah, we can get a picture. Oh, tell me about what you're doing, blah blah blah, you guys do this, do that. I was like, it's only our second event, all this stuff. And like him giving us like advice, and I'm sure he wouldn't even know who we are, right? If we were to like, that is thousands of people all the time coming through. But the fact
I remember seeing him walking through Rev, just being followed by like hundreds of airsofters.
Yeah, exactly.
And then one dude would shoot him, and he'd be like, "It," and then 100 airsofters would shoot this one dude.
Yeah,
that poor guy.
Even in the midst of that, being happy that we were there and taking time to just talk to us, that was a big deal for us. And that was like, dude, more people can be this positive about airsoft. It's fun, dude. If you're not having fun, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So it is kind of like our love for airsoft being fulfilled in our hearts by you guys at these events. This was an idea we had years ago that just kind of took us forever to get off the ground. Because we stopped making, we were like, we don't have time for this.
I moved away for a little bit.
In Corbin, when he came back, it was like, let's try again. This time for real. This time, let's get it. Let's do it for real. And we've, there's a lot of stuff with that where it's like we have made mistakes and we've been behind and we're maybe not as far along as we want, but like we are doing it and you guys are doing it. Like just to see the amount of support and stuff that you guys have for each other, like watching people in the tech questions channel on the Discord, just like figuring stuff out, making stuff, like teaching and watching people on the field, welcoming in younger players. Hey man, like I'm glad you're here. Is this your first time? That type of stuff. Oh, your Bass Pro $80 AEG doesn't work here, man. Run this, spare that I got. Right. Like I want to make sure you have a good time. Awesome, dude. That is the dream.
BBs. It's all like very, very accessible to new players. Our community is, and that is like a joy to me. Like that brings a tear to my eye to see
it really does.
You guys are.
I know we're joking about it. We have had
it's real, like
moments where it's like a tear does escape.
I mean, we hear stories of other airsoft communities that are just so toxic and people quit, and that was us for a little bit, but.
Yeah, we were just so toxic and horrible.
Yeah, we were just horrible.
No, there was a point where it was like it was just like impossible to go out and have fun. There was a period of time where we couldn't do it. We couldn't go out because people didn't want it to be fun. They wanted it to be the way they wanted it to be, and it was all about control and ego and it's a whole thing. But that's over, right? And I think we're not saying that we did that. We're saying we've wanted it to change and be this new thing, and coming back into the community 2 years ago, maybe
almost 3.
Yeah, you guys have done that, and that makes us so just, I don't know, happy. That's it, man. It's like I'm so proud of this community. So But up to this point, right, where we're at, we are in 2024. We've got 2 events under our belt. Our main goals are to blow up
and act like we don't know anybody. So
our main goal
is to start bumping elbows with Navarich. And
it's all about
pretend like we're from
point.
Atlanta
At this point now, No, it is.
You didn't hear that Atlanta bit, did you?
I did. I don't know what that even means. Pretend we're from Atlanta? What is that?
I don't know, man.
I thought you were making fun of someone. I thought you were talking about an airsoft.
No, I mean, that's just like I don't know.
People do pretend like they're from Atlanta. They'll be living 2 hours away and be like, I'm from Atlanta.
No, you're not, dude. You're from Douglasville.
Hey, man. I know you.
Yeah.
You are not Atlanta.
You're not
energy.
Atlanta.
When I look into your eyes, I don't see someone that's from Atlanta.
Yeah, you're Powder Springs for sure.
Yeah. But our goal is for these events to get bigger and to grow. And whether getting
these goals to get bigger,
whether getting bigger means more people, which we would love, more people in the community. I know there's people who live in the area who don't come out, not even to the events, but to weekends. Hey man, try it out. We're having a good time out here.
Get out here.
We want you here.
Yeah.
We want you.
It's fun.
You to come play airsoft.
Why did you spend all that money on all that gear and then it's just going to sit in your closet?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the matter with you?
But bigger also just means more.
Yeah.
It means better developed.
Bigger BBs, 6.02.
Everyone's running full thrust system. Yeah. But we want more events. We want them to keep getting better. We want them to grow and adapt to what the community wants. So please, guys, feedback important.
Is always important.
If you attend the event, you will get an email with a survey, because we collect that email at registration so that we can send you stuff to learn. Hey man, what was your experience? Tell us about it.
And
feedback is important.
What we're going to do with that feedback is use it to set up for next year.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been doing in this time is we've been night and day, day and night.
That's why we haven't been posting. I know we said we weren't going to take a break, and then we did, and I'm sorry about that, but our first priority is the community here. It is not necessarily the podcast.
I think that is something to note on, and I don't know if we've really talked about that, but something that is important to us, this podcast is very important to us. Port City Airsoft exists for our local community, for our local airsoft community here. And we love the ability to be online and have this presence and to reach out to people in other parts of the country and the world and inspire people to play airsoft and to be a good influence in their community and to like change the way that people view airsoft. We are so fortunate that we're able to do that. Our priority is our local community. And so sometimes we have to kind of shift our focus if we feel like our community needs the attention at this time. And post-event, and going into this new year, that's just what we've been feeling, is that we've just needed to take some time to slow down and do some planning, get ourselves,
geared up and ready
and ready to go hit the ground running in 2025 with just so much
hit him with the list.
Exactly.
Hit him with the list.
So
go ahead and tell him, dude. Tell him the stuff.
We've already talked about the whole night op situation. We're learning a lot. We learned from the last night op. We're improving on it, and we are planning more of those. We're not sure what a schedule is going to look like. We are wanting to do consistent annual night ops. We're going to have to coordinate with our local field with hoppers to see what that's going to look like. I'll say we would love to do monthly. We're not sure if that's what's going to happen. That's what we would like to do. What?
No, you're good. I'm just telling you, we got stuff planned.
We got stuff planned, dude. Obviously more Operation Sovereign Shields.
Yes.
And what that looks like for the most part is just bigger, better, I don't want to say too much. There's
a lot we can't say because there's other people involved who we do not have confirmations from, and we don't want to promise you something that we can't deliver on.
But there are big things in store.
Yes, but what is on the table currently is going to be huge.
Yes,
so.
And it a lot of the challenges that we are noticing from the past two Operation Sovereign Shields and just the way that they have just the situation that they find themselves in, I guess.
I think from the outside, people don't quite realize it is not convenient to run these. It is not, we just show up and do it. There's a lot logistically that requires us kind of bending over backwards to make them happen. And it is difficult. And some of that difficulty, I feel, does translate over to the players.
Yes.
One being it's on a Friday. That kind of sucks. I know a lot of people have complained.
Yep.
There's currently no opportunities to host it on a Saturday in the same way that we are doing them currently. On the scale, I would say on the scale we want them to be at.
Yes.
There is no way to pull it off on a Saturday. I won't get into all the details about that.
There's stuff just happening to make it
not possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that is part of what we are working on.
Yes.
It is trying to find a solution to that problem, and finding a solution to accessibility of the event and advertising and getting the word out and making sure everyone's having a good time. And then also just like admin staffing. There's a bunch of stuff that we are having to juggle to make these happen. And that's not an excuse for if one of them goes bad or doesn't go how we expect. That is just hey, we are in this situation and we are trying to improve that.
And I think, making this accessible to our local community, we are doing everything we can to limit the cost of these events to you guys, so that it's not, I mean, a lot of these events, an event that we're going to in January is an event that I would say is on the cheaper side of,
and it's still almost $200
exactly.
after everything's said and done.
So
with the ticket,
Milsims and airsoft events, even Rev is what,
like 180
exactly. So
if you buy early, if you pre-register.
So there are a lot of airsoft events that happen all over the place, and they're so cool, but they are expensive, and that's not always accessible. And we have a lot of people in our community that would not be able to afford a $150, $180 ticket. So we do what we can to make the cost of our tickets as affordable as possible, so that everyone can come and play. And so that means that a lot of our resources are very limited. So
we don't want to be too vague that it sounds like we're just up here saying some stuff that's like, they're just kind of filibustering. Right. Oh, there's big stuff, but we can't. There's just truly a lot that we can't promise, we can't guarantee. And we don't want to mislead you guys and disappoint you and make promises we can't keep. There is also a lot of stuff that we want to not keep confidential, but just like there's just back end.
Until moves are made.
Yeah.
You got to move in silence sometimes.
Yeah. Otherwise, the haters,
will shoot you.
Yeah. We don't talk a lot about money. I will say this, just for some clarity on what some of this means. When we say we keep the events as cheap as possible, I mean, we go in and we find the bottom line. How little can we charge a single person for this event? And
we got spreadsheets.
Not lose money.
We're using formulas.
And the way our prices work is that number changes as more people sign up. So like if we charged everyone, let's just say it's the $45 early bird sale, right? If we charged everyone that price and 100 people show up, hey man, we're rocking and rolling, we're in the clear. If 30 people show up, we lose a lot of money. So setting the price is a gamble on our part of like, hey, we don't want to raise it too high. This is the estimated amount of people we're expecting based off of the surveys and stuff. We're going to step out on a limb and just like lock in that price, try to get that set up. And the last two have been the same price. We've had the $45 early bird sale, and then pre-registration is $55, and then it's $60 the day of if you do a walk-on ticket. I feel like that's pretty cheap. That doesn't even touch the raffle. That doesn't touch the equipment we're building with all of the supply crates and the custom flags we get made and all the tools that we're using for these game mode elements. That doesn't cover the smokes we buy. That doesn't cover paying videographers and photographers and admin. Like that doesn't cover any of that.
Yeah.
So where we are right now is we are working with sponsors, and you've seen it if you're at the events. We've got the sponsor banners up. We have people who are donating time. We have people who are donating resources. We have people who are donating the resources as in like raffle items and equipment and stuff. We have people who are just straight up donating cash sometimes to be like, hey, what is it going to take for you to have the raffle you want to have? Well, it's going to cost this much. Okay, well, hey, boom. So there are generous people in this community who want to help make this happen. And we work with them with the whole like, hey, we're going to put your name up. We're going to like the ammo crates. If you looked, we had our sponsors on the crates. There's a lot of stuff we do to try to make those opportunities worth it for people. But there is generosity from other people in the local community coming into this for you guys. I hope that's not too much. I mean, like, again, the money stuff is just like, I mean, with any business, like you want to keep people involved. Your stakeholders, right? The people who, if the company fails, are affected, which is you guys. If we don't host events, that's disappointing. And so we want to succeed, but we also want to keep that price as low as possible. So
Yeah.
we are making moves to try to lower that price. If not lower the price, lower our costs so that money that's being spent in this one area can actually shift towards better raffles and better equipment and hiring more admin. You know, that's the big thing right now, is just more help. So all of these improvements are going to take time. They're going to take effort. They're going to take resources. And we both still work jobs.
Yeah.
And we still have families.
Like,
and,
Port City Airsoft does not pay our bills right now.
It doesn't pay.
It doesn't pay anything.
It sometimes pays lunch if we're meeting with a potential investor or sponsor.
Yeah. So we still have to work to pay our bills. Yeah. And that means that whatever time we are not working we're spending on Port City Airsoft.
Yeah.
Some of that time goes to the podcast, and what doesn't go to the podcast goes to planning events and everything else, doing all of it. And there's more stuff that Isaac and I are going to be taking on personally that is going to reduce that time even more. And it's things that do in some ways pertain to the business, but in a lot of ways don't.
This next year, we are having to take on more responsibilities work-wise to help offset,
fund and offset some of the costs of Port City Airsoft.
Yeah. Which is not a complaint.
No, not at all.
And it sounds negative. It's not a complaint. It is us trying to tell you guys we're making moves. We are
doing that in an effort to be able to do Port City Airsoft full time so that we can make the quality of this stuff much better for you guys. So we're not complaining.
It's the struggle of every business, every startup, every YouTuber, all that stuff.
It is work, and that's fine. We're in for that.
Transitioning from your job to your passion, and that is hard.
Now, in the context of what we've said earlier, of Port City Airsoft existing for our local community, our conversations have been in a decision where we have work, podcast, Port City podcast, Port City Airsoft. Two of these things have to happen, but one of them is not going to be able to, and it's either work, the podcast, or Port City Airsoft.
And the Port City Airsoft, I would say, does break out into the normal YouTube videos, like budget loadouts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It breaks out into events, and it breaks out into some other smaller projects we're working on that we cannot disclose currently. More stuff for this year that we're hoping to have done for you guys. And then also just like the store and we want to get more than just patches on there and stuff, stuff like that. So little things that break out into this conglomerate of tasks.
Basically, all of this to say, we are just separating the podcast out from the rest of that. I think kind of you mentioned that. And basically, this podcast is still here. We're still doing it.
Yes.
It is going to exist on a separate channel.
Yes.
That channel is linked in the description. So go down there, click on it.
Go subscribe.
Yeah. We're gonna stop for just a second.
Yeah.
You're gonna click on the link to the new channel.
Yeah.
You're gonna go subscribe.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna come back.
And then you come back. And we'll. How long do you think that takes for them to do that?
Probably like.
If they have the YouTube Premium, I think they can actually slide up and do all that while they're still watching.
And then the page is refreshed, and now they're back. Okay.
Welcome back.
So, welcome back. You've subscribed to the new channel. And basically, this podcast is going to go there. So, any day that the podcast, Fridays for YouTube, correct?
Yeah. It'll still be on Fridays. I do think, correct me if I'm wrong, based off of our conversations over the last month or so, bi-weekly, I think is the schedule we're trying to maintain.
Yes, bi-weekly. Yeah.
I will add, you may be wondering, well, why separate the podcast? Well, we know that we have consistent listeners. Many of you guys are from the local community, and we love that. And we want this to be valuable. I think we second guess ourselves a lot. Like, we don't think of ourselves as YouTube personalities, as celebrity, whatever. None of that. We'd literally just, hey, we're just some guys talking about airsoft.
Yeah.
I know people have told me, especially over the last month, I listen to the podcast, man. I love it. I put it on all the time. When it's on, when you guys aren't posting, I hate it. The reality is, the podcast is a good tool that we are proud of and want to further. I think we have put a little too much emphasis on it this year, hoping it would grow beyond where it's at. And that's not necessarily the case, but stopping it isn't what we want to do, because we do want to keep making the content for you if you guys want that, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're being told.
Yes.
And so we are just simply making changes. We are moving the podcast to a secondary channel, so that if you love the podcast and you do want to listen to two dummies talk about some airsoft stuff, you can do that. That is there for you as a resource. But for the people who don't care about the podcast and do want to watch bad guy kit video, want to watch other budget loadouts, unboxing,
Chris Redfield,
some gameplay, that type of stuff, can go to one space where that is very easy to navigate, and you're not having to, what is all that? Is that a podcast? And then there's like three more, and then, oh, here's the video. It is just a way to kind of tidy up our digital space.
So part of the changes that are getting made is the podcast is going to go to an audio only format.
Yes.
So
for the time being.
For
the foreseeable future.
For the time being.
Yeah.
Which I imagine is it's
Time Baby from Gravity Falls.
Out of time that we are now going to make this audio only podcast for.
Yes.
So, and again, if I'm not mistaken from our conversations, it's the full length of the podcast. Audio only is still going to be available on Patreon.
Yes, correct.
There will be a segment that gets uploaded to YouTube,
just like it is now.
It is now. That will also be audio only.
The shift we are going to be making is, if you have been watching any of the free samples from Patreon, if you've gone over there, there's free stuff there. I don't know if you guys know that. You can go to Patreon and get free stuff.
And you should go to Patreon and get free stuff.
Our tier lists are listed out. I think the base starting one is like $5. That gets you access to pretty much, I think, almost all of the digital media, including the podcast.
Yep.
That has been more of a show than a podcast in some ways, on purpose. We've wanted that. It's been fun. We plan funny bits and sketches and all this stuff.
You guys have not been watching this. And we have some bits on there that they absolutely have to go on the internet somewhere. Yeah. Someone on the internet,
someone had to make it,
has to see this.
Yeah.
Because it pained me to make some of these bits.
Yeah, they're good.
And Isaac and I are the only two
that just
know
us.
about it.
No, there's people on the Patreon.
Hey, there are people on the Patreon, but two. Now one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Three. Now two.
Now two.
You get it now. But the feedback we're getting about the podcast is, I love the podcast. I love listening to it. There's insightful stuff. And also, it's just fun to listen to while I'm working out, while I'm driving to work, whatever. It's a podcast, right? That's what it's for.
To, is it? My voice is fun to listen to.
Yeah.
Well, how about this? Is this fun to listen?
So
start making the worst sound possible.
I think it's less about, right. It doesn't need to be a show. It doesn't. I think that's the point I'm trying to make. That's why we're going audio only. People like to listen to it, not necessarily watch it like a YouTube video. So that's why we're splitting it up, making it the audio only. We're still going to have the full length on Patreon if you want to go over there. There's other benefits. There's in the different tiers. I know there's like discount codes you get and exclusive stuff.
One of them, I think, if you are subscribed to that tier and I see you in public, I have to give you a hug.
Yeah, that is a real one we have. I think.
At one point it was.
Yeah. So why, right? Why, aside from the actual like changes to the actual podcast, why are we making these changes? One, consistency.
Mm-hmm.
We want to maintain the upload schedule. We feel, based off of the feedback we've gotten, that people love listening to the podcast. It is more important to maintain that schedule of content output than it is for it to be some artistic passion project, like cinematic experience, right? I don't think that's what people are looking for, at least not in an airsoft podcast, which is fun. We love doing that. I think if we had all the time in the world, we'd still do that.
Yeah.
Because we like doing it. But we also miss uploads sometimes because it is a lot to do when you have a full-time job and all this other stuff. So consistency is one of the reasons. I think the achievable schedule of bi-weekly would be, we could pull that off with audio only.
Yeah.
And then trying to maintain that level of like audio only with the full length on Patreon still lets us keep some stuff over there for you guys who are subscribed, some additional content and fun stuff. But then also we still get to do the YouTube segments and we get to post the highlights there. I think your point earlier of just like Port City Airsoft is not Port City Podcast.
Yeah, it's Port City Airsoft. The podcast is
a tool that we have to reach people and to put resources out there.
Yeah. So
it is one tool in the tool belt that is Port City Airsoft.
And we're just a couple tools.
Yeah.
Yeah. So expect more YouTube videos.
Yes.
And when I say YouTube videos, I do mean videos. So
like
budget loadouts, maybe some unboxings. We'll probably do some gameplay stuff. We'll do some tutorials.
Based off of a poll we took, which we actually did do this.
Yeah.
The podcast was pretty high up on the list of what people want more of.
People do
and
want
the
gameplay
budget
though.
loadouts. So those are kind of what we're trying to achieve more of.
Did they die?
No, they're
still
on.
lit.
They're just kind of faint.
Yeah.
And then we're throwing around the idea of some gameplay stuff.
We got some ideas for how to get that.
Port City Airsoft was never designed to be a gameplay channel. There's plenty of gameplay channels. There's nothing particularly special about us playing Airsoft when you could just go play Airsoft. But people want to see it. The local Legends highlight volumes, we've only done one. It's been impossible to get another one done. It was just so much work. I'm hoping this also frees up time for that. And then we've thrown around the idea of some highlight videos, literally just being like, hey, we've got the local Legends series that is this kind of like montage, collage, video doc like thing to highlight all these different people in our community. But we could also just do like, hey, let's get everyone out on this date to come play when we just film that day. And it's like, it's just weekend gameplay, but it's like, we'll run like a little 2 to 5 minute video, So we're playing around with those different ideas, but
a lot of stuff.
No matter what it is, we are going to be bringing more regular YouTube content to the main channel.
Yeah. We're looking forward to 2025, man. At least I am.
I am too.
There's again, and it does. I feel like we are sounding very vague, but like there is just so much planned. Bear with us. Trust in the force.
Yeah.
And we'll give it to you. So
that's good.
Yeah.
I think more importantly than all that.
Oh yeah, hold on. Dude. So much more important. Go play Airsoft, dude.
Go play Airsoft.
Yeah.
All right. You guys enjoy the rest of your Christmas.
Enjoy your Christmas. Yeah, it's very good. Go listen to the Jay Schlatt Christmas album. Jay Schlatt does go hard.
Happy holiday. While the merry bells keep ringing. Happy holiday.